I'm going to get Agent Chuckii to help me connect to Ray and because
They super dope.
I know your hand is hurt, but just a few questions that people are asking here. Did you ever get to work with Whitney, meet or work with Whitney?
Wow. Never had a chance to work with her, but I do have a crazy story that I'll only tell here that I've told nowhere else. Nowhere else. I had a run in. I had a run in with Whitney. Um, this was during 1995. At the time, she was married to Bobby. I was on tour with New Edition. Okay,
The Home Again
uh,
tour.
I I was the musical director for the Home Again tour, and we were doing. We took a break in the middle of the tour. They ended up doing Saturday Night Live, and they did two songs. They did "Hit Me Off" and they did "Still in Love," with the two songs. So, of course, we had to cut the show. We had to cut the song down a little bit, make it show format. Uh, so Whitney ends up, she's traveling with us on the tours for this little run. So we're at Saturday Night Live, and I actually met Nippy like way before that when she first started. She was opening up for Jeffrey Osborne, and my friend Rex Salas was playing. He was playing with Jeffrey Osborne. He's the first one that told me, "Man, you got to check out the singer Whitney Houston." So I met her there, but then next, years later, we're at Saturday Night Live. We do the sound check for "Hit Me Off." Now, mind you, I'm only musically responsible for the music. So they do the test run. We're at sound check rehearsal. We do the rehearsal. So after everybody finishes the song, you know, Nippy is sitting in the audience. All of a sudden, I hear a Chuckii, come here, baby, come here. I'm like, okay. So I walk down. I walk, off the stage. The guys are still on stage. She pulls me to the side and she says, "Look, why aren't you focusing more on Bobby? Bobby is the star here. He is the star of this. How come you were not? Why is he only getting so much little time?" I'm like, "Nip, I have nothing to do with the camera shots." And I said, "I'm only responsible for the music." And when I say she blessed me, when I say blessed, I mean she cursed me. She blessed me out. Like, you need to fix that. You need to, but Bobby is the one that needs to be. He's a star of this show. He needs to be the one that needs to get more so and so. I'm like, Nip, this is if you hear "Hit Me Off," all the guys are singing. I can't replace Johnny's part with Bobby. It's like this is the song. When I say she tore me up,
Wow.
she tore me up. And all I could do was say, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." But as a musical director and as a diplomat, sometimes you just got to take that. And I took it well because JG afterwards, Johnny Gill put me aside and said, "Man," he said, "Man, she tore your ass up." I know. I was like, "Well," he said, "And you were just sitting there just smiling, man." I said, "What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do?" I was like, I mean, she tore me up, man. But again, I just took that and said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." And you know what? 2 days later, after it was all over, it was a success. 2 days later, we were, I think we were in Nebraska or something. I can't remember where. We stopped to get something to eat, and she said, "Chuckii, come here." And I'm like, "Oh Lord." I said, "Here we go." She said, "Let me talk to you, baby. Let me talk to you for a second." I said, "Okay." She came over and she said, "I'm sorry. I was out of line, and I apologize." I said, "Nip, it's cool. It's all good." But she realized that it really wasn't it wasn't my fault. But she apologized, and man, I'll always love her for that, man. Because she
Yeah.
didn't have to. I just took it as, it's just a time where because she was riding hard for Bobby, and she should. That was her
Yeah,
husband. I
yeah,
don't believe
yeah.
that, you know. But I just took it as okay. She's riding for Bob, and that's cool. But she apologized, and I thought, hey, it's all good, and we just kept it pushing.
Yeah, but somebody else would have gone to management or gone to Bobby and said, "Look, Bobby, I said, but you just thought,
Well, again, because I'm the MD, I was the musical director, so
This is mid-90s Whitney. I think you must have knew by then had an idea what Whitney would have may have been like. So you just took it on the chin, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as a musical director, like I said, it's not always about the music. It's just all about how to manage egos and how to manage people, man. And like I said, I had a front row seat to that from my mother, who was a choir director, in church, dealing with a lot of people and, singers and then with Barry, so I got a front row seat to that. And I saw how they handled a lot of those situations.
Did you come over to the UK with Janet when you was directing?
No, I was gone by then. I left after that time.
Yeah. What was it like producing the track with Phil Bailey?
Oh wow, wow! Guys, going back. Okay, yeah, I did a song called "Live It Up" and "Stay Right Here," and "Something's Missing." It was those three songs, if I recall. Yeah, I think those are the three songs I did. That was great, man. Working with Philip is just, man. We had so much fun in the studio those couple of days. Me and Philip, man. Philip is my dude, anyway. So. Yeah.
And then also big socks for Bette Midler.
Wow. Wow. That was cool because again, that song Big Socks, I wasn't in the studio when she did her vocal. She just said, give me just put down the the tip and then I'll follow it. But she would never let anybody work in the studio with her. So, and the same thing when I worked with Diana Ross, it was the same thing. I gave her the sound, the track, but for some reason, those artists that are like that big, they just will not work with a new producer at that time who they didn't know.
Wow.
They work with them in the studio because they feel like, oh, like I'm gonna go back and say, oh yeah, I worked in the studio with so-and-so. She was terrible, whatever, blah blah. But I'm from the old school. I don't tell my stuff like that. I don't talk about people and how they work in the studio or whatever, especially if it's something that wasn't really good or if it was something that really didn't work out or something. I would never tell that side of the story, So, I was an old soul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you probably looked like you were 12, so she probably thought, it's like, no, it's as I said, everyone's just saying that John is saying 60-piece orchestra. I think it's hard for us to imagine. John just said that Barry was also one of his vocal teachers, as well. But so we may and should expect your third album by the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Colin is saying that it would be great if you were to come to the UK and perform, because I know that you were there last year with Lionel on tour, but you're not doing the.
I'm coming. I promise you. I'm gonna say it right now. Me and D had already talked about it. Me and DOA. We're coming to the UK. We're coming to Europe after we do these songs, this run for the next few shows, whatever. We're definitely coming to Europe.
Yeah, and I guess that's the hope that Lionel doesn't go on another global tour. If you take a little break.
Right, I'm hoping.
Yeah. Oh man, Stevie, it's been Chuckii. I have to thank you for holding up your phone for this long. I know people have been streaming questions. Stevie, any final questions for?
I just want to say thanks so much for talking about all that stuff you did back then.
You're welcome. Man, it's my pleasure. Nnamdi, you already know, man. That's my guy over there. Man.
I can speak for all the viewers. It's a real pinch me moment just to we've been collecting. Some of us have been collecting for 30 years to just have this moment. We thought like this. Seriously, mate.
That's crazy.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And I respect, man. It's nothing but respect from my end, man. I really appreciate you guys, man, for upholding and uplifting the soul and R&B, of music, man. That says a lot about who you guys are. And I want to tell you guys a continued success and to keep doing it, because if we don't uplift ourselves and keep ourselves up, then nobody will, So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, Chuckii,
Shout Deal Advance for us. Deal
I'm
Advance.
gonna hit him up. I'm gonna hit him up.
Thank you. Thanks.
I'll with Nnamdi, because he is somebody you should really talk to.
Yeah.
He has a lot of information. Trust me when I tell you this.
I feel him. We just need to get him on here. We need his story badly.
I'll get on. I will, and he will talk too. Trust me, he will talk.
Yeah, I think what you found is which people here love the music and celebrate the memories of what you brought. For me, it was a travesty that we didn't get 3, 4, 5 albums, but of course we understand the story. We understand why you did that, but we also understand that, man, we there was a switch from the sort of love, wholesome music that we were getting in the 80s and the 70s and 80s, and then the 90s they took all the church folks and says, strip it out of you. And
exactly what they did.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Chuckii, it's been great. So, guys, wait, I think when Fred maybe Fred, it'd be great to get Fred on when his music when it's about to drop, because that's as I said, as soon as I heard it, I said that sounds like games. So I'm glad at least you confirmed that. So as I said, Chuckii's produced a new track for Fred Hammond. Should be out shortly. So we wait to put on that. If you're in the States, you should check out his on song. Unfortunately, we can't see it here in the UK. April 10th, Yoshi's is it in Oakland?
Yes, in Oakland.
So go to yoshis.com, and if you're in the Bay Area, check out with DOA. I would have to say that as much as I love Chuckii, DOA probably was one of the most inspirational guests I had when he talks about his.
Trust me, D is another. He's another that needs to be a diplomat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you, as I said, you can remind you guys, I had about 2 or 3 hours with DOA. Allen talked about his journey and how he left the Bay Area, went to Los Angeles, trying to make it, and how he proved the point to get on the Rhythm Nations tour. A lot of kickback there. How he was starstruck when he saw Whitney walking with Bobby. So
a lot of kickback.
Yeah, as I'm a big, I love DOA. I loved his energy, loved his story. So, but he's going to be, he's taking the bass and not Chuckii anymore. Chuckii's, what do you play anymore? What do you play now? Because I know you don't do the bass. You just
take the bass. Yeah, I won't play after D, man. Never. I'll never play after D.
But when you with university, are you just doing leads or vocals? Or do you play any instruments?
Well, on a couple of the shows when we had the time, I did sit down and play piano. Like on the show we did in LA, I sat and played piano. But for this particular show, it's just going to be a straight, just nonstop. There ain't going to be no playing ballads. Nah. We coming with the funk on this one.
Yeah.
But later on, though, I will jump on the bass and I will jump. Eventually, I'll play bass and guitar and keys. But just right now, we just don't have the time to really put that type of show together.
Yeah.
Because everybody's really busy, man. So.
Yeah. I mean, I would love, I love what Babyface is doing, because he sings Prerogative and Don't Be Cruel and all. He sings all the hits he's written for others and some of his hits. And, if you sang You Spread My Wings and you start doing all that stuff. I mean, would we ever get a Chuckii Booker album, like you're playing both out your catalog and your stuff? And
I will.
Nnamdi, let him go and get his food now. I think he wants to get his dinner.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's fine. Chuck, and anyway, I'll deal advance. I'll hit you up about him, and there are 3 people. It's going to be Fred Hammond, Deal Evans, and Ray Parker Jr. But we'll talk off a line of that. But appreciate it, guys. Say thanks to Chuckii. John's going to be at the show, so and we're going to get John back as well. All right, Chuckii, we'll let you go.
You guys take care, man.
Good night.
Take
Have a
care.
good one.
Every single day